let's talk about the next big game that we have. We begin our FA Cup defense against Arsenal. We already Amorim took United to us at the Emirates Stadium. We lost that game, but since then he has beaten Pep. He has stunned Slot. And is it time for revenge against Arteta? What do you think?
Oh yeah, the redemption arc will be completed if we beat Arsenal, and it's a different ball which will be played in FA Cup, like you mentioned, not the same as the EFL. Arteta was moaning about how the ball was a bad one, so they do not come here in the best of forms or the best of confidence. They've just lost against Newcastle 2-0, exited from the League Cup. This might be Arsenal's only chance for a trophy
Yeah,
as well. And to be honest, this is the only trophy which Arteta has managed to win in
yeah.
his reign,
And that too right
which
at the
brings
beginning,
on to be
last
the
3 4 years,
yeah,
which so to say have been the redemption of Arsenal. They don't have a
that is
trophy to
correct.
show for it, so I think they will go all guns blazing as well.
2020, yeah, 2020 was when it won, which brings a question like which brings upon a comparisons between Arteta and Eric Ten Hag a lot of times
Correct,
because Eric Ten Hag in his 2.5 years did win two domestic trophies.
correct.
Same cannot be said about Arteta. Obviously, Arteta has transformed the team,
Yeah,
has left all the deadwood out of the team, made some big calls with Aubameyang and who not.
correct.
But and he has a good setup right now. But are their team a bit over reliant on Saka, Odegaard? Because we've seen when
Which
these
is,
players
yeah,
were
I think that's
missing.
the case. So
Yeah,
there was a
when these
period
players have
when,
been missing,
yeah, I was
yeah,
saying the exact same thing. When Odegaard was missing, they were struggling at that point in time. There was a phase of 5 6 games when they pretty much had their entire front 6 7 available, and which is when they were scoring those 3 games, 3 goals, 5 goals in the game. And even the game that we were getting into, Arsenal was in top form as we reached the Emirates Stadium to face them. But I think things have changed over the last couple of games with the Saka injury. I think a little bit of that balance again is moved out. I think they scrapped through in the Premier League. They managed a win, and I think there was a game where they won 3-0 as well, but that wasn't that dominating a performance. Obviously, Jesus' form has picked up. He has been in the goal scoring form, but then again, Newcastle, we saw some of those gaps in the play come through. So probably it is not that bad a time for United to go to Emirates Stadium, and we could progress in the FA Cup through and keep our defense on for the FA Cup.
no, definitely. Like we mentioned, we cannot just keep boasting about a draw which we got at Anfield. To be honest, it's a draw. We didn't get a victory there.
Yeah,
But the performances levels are what we are used to seeing in United, Legacy United, and what we expect from United to be. So yeah, I mean, Arsenal have always been a great team to be there in the FA Cups and the domestic cups. Of course, a difficult challenge, but a challenge which should be overcoming based on their current form.
yeah.
I mean, Saka isn't there.
I'm also starting to think of a scenario where we are coming back from a good performance against Liverpool. We do well against Arsenal, and then we go into the Premier League against the bottom team, Southampton, and we are able to smash them, and suddenly the confidence is through the roof for the team. So I think I'm almost manifesting some of that to come through for United. Hopefully that can, but it will be a critical period for United. We are in the FA Cup. It's probably a trophy we can go for. Europa League will have its own difficulties. So yeah, I'm expecting a strong performance and a strong team to play this one. Although there will be some bit of rotation, Amorim has already confirmed that Bayender starts in goal for this one and Onana sits out. What did you make of that? And yes, let's talk about rest of the team as well.
Okay, I mean, Binder starts. I think he said goalkeeping is a special position. He is keeping Binder as a backup keeper for the cup ties, which is okay, but it scares me a bit because in the last game, Binder conceded two goals from set pieces, wasn't as great, and the game against Arsenal, we lost 2-0 because of the two set
Set
pieces goals. So
pieces,
that
yeah,
combination is a bit deadly one. But that
yeah.
being said, I'm pretty sure we Actually, I'm not sure if we have learned our lessons because even after the Arsenal game, we lost on set pieces a couple of times
Yeah, I think
against
it was
Nottingham
only
Forest. And
against Liverpool that it seemed we were slightly better organized, but then there was also
hmm,
that one corner which was slightly, nervy. Onana
yeah,
managed, and I think teams are using it as a tactic to sort of uh, just surround the United goalkeeper fully and make it difficult for them. And Bayern obviously conceded directly from the corner. Then Onana did that. Oh, by the way, did you know it was called an, I think, Olympico? I had no idea.
Olympico, yeah,
Yeah, I had no
yeah,
idea it was
directly
called
from
that
corner.
before before it happened twice to United in a space of a week. So yeah, United always a good learning after a United game. You learn new things. Hopefully,
Yeah,
no.
being a United fan, you'd learn a lot of things. True.
Yeah. So we know that Binder starts in goal. Hopefully, he's able to learn from some of the mistakes around set pieces in the past. What about the defense?
Mm, See, I don't see Maguire being dropped for this one. I think he had a
Yeah,
massive performance against Liverpool, so
yeah,
Maguire will be a mainstay. Euro had a decent stint when he came on
yeah.
from the bench. He made a very cracking tackle against against Nunes.
Nunes.
Yeah,
And it was one, it was the tackle, and all second, it was the speed of recovery. He was, I think, deep into the Liverpool half, and that sprint to be at the right place when the ball was coming to Nunes, and to have that Van Bissaka-esque tackle. I think that was very good. It will do a lot of good to his confidence, and I think he should start this one. Delict had a few challenges in the previous one. Maybe he sits this one out, given the fact that Maguire has been doing well. So I think it could be Euro Maguire and Martinez for me.
yeah, I'm not very 100% sure about Martinez for this one because Arsenal do use their physical
Hmm.
strength and height to their advantage for set pieces, and Martinez might be the weak link for this one.
But I
We
think
don't know.
how we're trying to play, I think Martinez fits well there. I don't know. So who do you suggest? Maybe Evans as a option?
Is there a possibility where we see Euro, Delete, and Maguire start this one?
Euro, Delict, and Maguire. Actually, they can Delict at the middle, Maguire on the left,
Yeah,
Euro on the right. I think that is
yeah.
possible. Maybe. So that could be a possibility as well.
But I do agree with the four names on the screen: Euro, Delete, Maguire, and Martinez. I think the three centre backs will be amongst these three. There's another possibility that Mazraoui might start on one of the centre back positions if
Yeah.
Ahmad plays. I don't want to see Mazraoui out of the. I know he's had one or two bad games in between, but all in all, he's had a positive impact on the
Actually,
United team.
that's a fair point, and I think all it comes down to is if Amorim willing to give Garnacho a start. Because
Hmm.
if and there will be a
Hmm.
little bit of a trickle down effect. If Garnacho gets a start, then Bruno and Garnacho start in that number 10, which allows Ahmad to play wing back, which allows Mazarawi to play right center back. So I think there
Agreed.
is a bit of a trickle down effect. And okay, let's talk about that. I think that is the biggest bone of contention. Do you think Garnacho has done enough of what we have seen in the match day as the substitute appearance in last 3-4 games to warrant a start? Because that will only be half of the story. The other half will be how he's performing in training, what is the behavior behind, etc., for Amorim to take a decision. But what, based on what we know, what do you think? Does Garnacho start?
Like Yeah, like I mentioned, I mean, both Garnacho and Rashford were on the same position, wherein they were dropped at a City match. But Garnacho has shown enough to be part of the match day squads,
Yeah,
and he has played well as well. I feel amongst all the forward players that we have, Garnacho is one who is the most explosive and someone who has the most effect on the final run of play. Someone who can take the ball, who can carry the ball from wing to
yeah,
get it into the box in dangerous position. Sometimes Izzy maybe is too selfish,
yeah.
but I take that because of the kind of attacking impetus he brings into the. So yes, in
Correct.
my opinion,
And that
Garnacho has done
selfishness is
enough to
also
start.
reduced, I think, with Amorim coming in and demanding
Agreed.
a certain respect of how they're playing. It's not to individual styles, but to the team style. We have seen even the likes of Bruno tweak their game. They're focused more on building the play rather than going for that one crazy pass which can give us a assist or a goal. So yeah, in an ideal scenario, I would want Garnacho to start this one. Although I don't see Garnacho as our main starting 11 player, but I think there have been far too many games that he has not started, and maybe he deserves a start in this one. So yeah, we talked about that entire uh, pretty
triangle
much the domino
of
effect that
the
could happen. So if Garnacho plays, it could be Garnacho, Bruno, Ahmad on wing, Mazraoui at center back. Otherwise, I think Mazraoui retains his wing back spot on the right side. Then
yeah.
Ahmad plays the number 10 spot. What
Dalo
about
on
the
the
midfield? Do you see any other options?
No, I think midfield wise we are sorted in Ugarte and Menu. Menu being a good progressor and Ugarte being the destroyer. Ugarte has missed only one game. I think that or that too because of suspension under Amorim. I think he has been part of all the squads
Yeah,
by then. And we did see in that one game in which he was dropped, Casemiro and Ericsson starting against
so
Newcastle, and we
drab. There
were
was no
blown
energy
away.
in the team. Yeah,
Yeah.
but do you see
So.
Casemiro getting a start? I mean, with Ugarte, he could work out okay as a pairing, but with the transfer rumors going on, do you think he gets a start by any chance?
I don't see it happening. I think
Because Menu,
Amorim
I
would
think,
want to
physically
start
doesn't
his
have the legs to do 90 minutes day in, day out, at least twice a week. So, with the Southampton game also and Premier League where we are, we need those wins. I'm just starting to think maybe Casemiro plays against Southampton if at all required. Yeah,
probably,
yeah.
probably. But yeah, in this game, I think the best starting 11 would have Ugarte and Meno in it. And up front, I would want Højlund rather than Xerxes. Even though Højlund missed a couple of chances against Liverpool, I think he still did enough to get into those positions. Yes,
Agree.
Xerxes had an impact when he came, but I think his impact would better come from the bench rather than starting the game.
And I think, given what happened against Newcastle at Old Trafford, I think his confidence needs to be slowly built back up. There was
Hmm.
some bit of that I saw against Liverpool because he was dynamic. He was pressing a lot in those last 15 minutes or so when he came on. So I was happy for that. Had he been able to, appropriately place the ball for Maguire and Maguire finished it, I think it would have done a lot of good to his confidence. But I'm sure he'll get more chances.
Definitely. Well, there's a player in there. We have seen him
Yeah.
make enough decent moves. I mean, I think it was a bit unfair of the United faithful to treat him the way they did in the Newcastle
Actually, I
game.
was hearing the Athletic talk about it, and they mentioned that there was pretty much a to and fro there. So there was a group of fans who booed Zirkzee at that
Mhm.
point in time. Then immediately after, a group of fans started cheering him, and I think they were also left a little bit stunned to see Zirkzee's reaction. Probably he was in tears because he had his head down. He headed back to the tunnel straight away, and I think he probably got a comment from somebody to go back. And then again, there was a mix of boos and cheers. So I think it was about a segment of crowd, and hopefully, yeah, the United faithful.
We saw it at Anfield. The United faithful were cheering Xerxes as soon as
Correct.
he came on
Yeah,
at the end of the game.
yeah.
And in this game too, by the way, I think about 9,000 fans are traveling to Arsenal.
In
It's a good
general, I think the
contingent
away fans are more dedicated to the team than the
to the
because in
cause. Yeah.
home fans you will get a different demographic or a mix of demographic. I think the away fans are the ones who are the real faithfuls, so to say, in
Yeah, the
terms of
real ones.
yeah.
Mm.
But cool. So, what are your predictions for this one? What do you see happening? How does it play out?
I'm pretty sure we'd concede a goal or two. But
Two.
that being said, I see this as a game wherein there will be goals. So I think this will be a 3-2 win
I
for
was
United.
about to say the same thing. I was about to say the same thing. 3-2 win will be, I think, another cracker of a game, another one for the history books, and hopefully we come out on the right side of it. Any predictions on the goal scorers?
I hope Højlund scores one. I really hope Garnacho comes in and scores one. It will be good for both their confidence.
Yeah,
Ideal scenario would be Zirkzee coming on and scoring the third goal. Will do massive thing for his confidence. But
yeah.
from the starting 11, I see Bruno popping in and out of these, scoring positions.
Positions.
Maybe
Yeah,
we get a penalty.
yeah.
Thing. So yeah, maybe the probable ones would be Bruno, Højlund, and Garnacho to score the three.
My prediction is that Hoyland scores two, Ahmad assists them mostly, and Maguire gets a headed goal in. So that is my prediction for this
Scoring against Arsenal and a set piece. That's a bold prediction.
game. Hopefully that happens.
I've seen videos of the Arsenal set piece coach standing in front of Arteta during a set piece, and
Yeah. Which is where
that's
there was
mad.
this where which is where there was this meme about, at this point in time Arsenal can replace Arteta with their set piece coach and still continue to do well.
Seriously, he's got a mural, man. The set piece coach has got a mural. Can you imagine the impact of a coach on this?
Such are the
It's brilliant.
times. Such are the
Yeah.
times.
But yeah, let's hope it's a 3-2. Let's hope we are back on track because after this game, there'll be consecutive two games in Premier League, winnable games, Southampton and Brighton, which I think
Yeah.
we can do well in those. So, but it will all depend on the kind of confidence we get out of the game in against Arsenal.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good luck to United and thanks everybody for listening in. This has been a fun one for us. Hopefully you like it as well. Do let us know your thoughts. How is it that we can improve this further? And yes, as always, this is our perch. Let's knock him off. Until next time, stay united.